Hey everybody, so this is Alex, aka Embedded IoT on Twitter, and we're all incredibly excited here at Does Liverpool about the upcoming Liverpool MakeFest, and in particular the world record breaking attempt we have to 3D print a record size of rocket, which is the Eagle, which is the code name of the NASA Apollo 11 lunar module. So you can go to the Liverpool MakeFest Help Us Break a World Record page. You can Google that up, or you'll see it on the Liverpool MakeFest Twitter account. And on there you'll see the information and also the 3D model file that you can download, STL file, as I've just done. Now what I thought would be kind of cool would be if we could take this slice and we could put our own names on it and personalize it in that way. So I thought maybe I'd have a look at how we could extrude text out of the side of this slice. So there's probably a number of different ways of doing it, but I settled on using an online tool from Autodesk called Tinkercad. You can set up a free account for that, which I've done, log in, and you'll get to this dashboard page where you can create a new design. It sets that up, gives it a name, and then we get our work plane. So into that work plane, we're going to import the file, which is the Eagle Slice STL file that we've just downloaded. And if we pull that in, you'll see that shortly that will appear in the work plane and we can start playing with it and editing it. And there we go. First thing to do is if we look on the right hand side, we can see a text object. Click that and lay some text down on the work plane. Change it to something that you fancy. I'm going to have a go at Embedded IoT. And I'm going to change the font. I prefer the Sans font. It seems a little bit cleaner. So there we go. Next thing to do is we can drag this around a little bit and we can resize to fit nicely onto our slice. And line that up as best we can. And then I'm going to pull that up. What I want is to have it partially through the back and partially through the front of the slice. So I'm going to do that here. You see it's still a little bit too big, so I'm just going to resize. There we go. That kind of looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Yeah. And then if we just move that across. Here we go. Yeah. I think that'll do. Oh, maybe a little bit further down. Okay, so that's the first step. And the next thing we need to do is to surround the text with a block. So grab the block, lay a block down. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of that block just so that we can make out what's going on a little bit more easily. And we're going to resize that to basically cover the whole of the original slice. And you'll see why we're doing that a little bit later on. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to pull it up until just below the top of the text, which I've done there. And hey presto. we're ready to start turning some of the text into holes. So click on the text and you'll see it's a solid at the moment. We're going to turn it into a hole. And then the next thing is, with that still selected, hold down the Shift key and click on the yellow box, which will select them both, and group the both of them, which is this icon up here in the top right. So group those, and then with them still selected, the grouped objects selected, we go back to those which are now solid and we turn both of the grouped objects into a hole. So now we've got a hole going through the slice. And the next thing we need to do is to, with this grouped hole object selected, hide it. So press Control and H. So still there but hidden. Then select the slice itself and go up over here to the little pages icon and duplicate. So click to duplicate that. One of those duplicated items remains selected. So then with that still selected, press Control Shift H to unhide the grouped object that we created before. And then what we need to do is to press Shift to select that object and group it together with the copied slice that we created. I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but if you have a little think through it, you'll get there. It took me a little bit of a while to get the hang of this. So now we've arrived at a point where we've got the text and we've got that sitting on top of our existing slice, and we can just pull that up to extrude it out of the slice. Hey presto! How nice is that? So now, final thing that we can do is to export our design. We'll do that for a 3D print as STL. It's given it its own name, Brilliant Bruticus Rotis. So we have that there. And now what I'm going to do is to move over to Cura. And in Cura, I'm going to File, Open File. Hopefully I can find it. Downloads. Rudy, let's check that. Brilliant Bruticus, and that's loaded into our Cura box. Final thing we need to do is we just want to lay it down flat to print. We probably want the prongs face up, so if we go to Rotate and select an axis to rotate around, and then check that we've laid flat, we're ready to go. We can prepare, and a rough, quick slice is going to take an hour and a quarter. So I'm going to go off to the 3D printer and see how that looks. And good luck with yours. Thanks.